Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to welcome you back. I've been taking a bit of a break after the World Cup, well deserved. So that's why it's been a bit quiet. Um, but resuming, we've got an interview that we did for the To the Last Drop podcast, which I do with Sunday Times Liam Delcom. It's available on all major platforms, on podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple iTunes, and all the rest. And you can also find it here as well in audio form. But here's the interview, the video interview with Sandile Ngcobo, one of the most brutally honest interviews about the Blitzbox and what went wrong last year and how egos almost sunk the team. So have a watch. Thanks. Welcome back, guys. We're back with a very special guest, Sandile Ngcobo, the Springbok Sevens coach. Of course, the Sevens, the revamped, reshaped, streamlined Sevens series starts again in Dubai this weekend, and then next week's the big one, the Cape Town Sevens. And Sandile, you're not in Dubai with the guys. Maybe just, we know why you're not there, but maybe just tell everybody on the pod why you're not there.
Yeah, I miraculously injured myself while playing conditioning games with the boys. They were uneven, so I thought, well, just for this part, I'll jump in with the boys and throw the ball around. And I guess the tempo is too fast for me. These guys are too fast, and maybe I'm getting older. But yeah, I ruptured my Achilles in the process, and then I went for surgery.
Are you okay though? I mean,
and how long are you sidelined for?
I say, are you okay? You on the road to recovery at least?
Yeah, no, we're on the right path. I started physio yesterday, and swelling has went down, stitches are dissolving. So, I'm actually on the right path. So, yeah, should be good for Cape Town and Perth.
What's the biggest challenge of not having the team in front of you, or seeing them doing the things that they're supposed to be doing? What's the biggest frustration there?
I guess it's more personal, not from a coach's point of view or trust point of view. I think I'm a hands-on person. I want to be there. I want to engage with the boys and ask them how you feeling. Look at this. I'm on the field and we're talking about we're basically engaging, and that's the tough part. That's you can't be there and talk about it on the field as well. Maybe game day. Someone might look tired, but you quickly speak to him on the mic. It's like, I'm all good, coach. Don't take me off. So that's the type of feeling that I won't have. But other than that, it's actually not hard because the bigger part of our prep was done, and I've got full trust on Philip Snyman because we're on the same page, exactly the same page. We everything that flows out of his mouth or my mouth is exactly what flows out of his mouth. So yeah, I'm pretty confident. Marius Kuman is there as well. So yeah.
You guys are a pretty tight-knit group to begin with, but you came in last season, obviously with some high hopes. The team was already a bit of a downward. I won't say spiral's not the right word, but the trend was going a bit downward, and you had a lot of injuries, a lot of players leaving at the same time, almost like a perfect storm of what you didn't want to have coming into your first year. You've had to have a lot of, I'm sure you're bald, so I can't say you've got a lot of grey hairs, but I'm sure you've been tested and the anxiety levels have been a bit up over the last season, your first season in charge.
Yeah, for sure. I think my character has been tested and my spiritual relationship has been tested in the past couple of months, last season. Luckily, I'm still married, so I guess my marriage is still strong. But it was pretty tough. It was pretty tough. There was a lot of work that we needed to do, and it actually the bigger part, the big chunk of the revamping or renewing the team was off the field stuff. So guys not getting along, off the field issues that we needed to deal with, and whether it came from the past or was recent, we just needed to deal with that stuff. And you can just see it literally that stuff has just filtered away, and we're on the same page. And again, I don't know, ego's the enemy.
For the longest time, the Blitzbox, it was said that there's a strong culture and an ethos in that side, and that was one of the things that made the team tick. Has some of those things been compromised in this process, or is it just do you feel that this is an evolution that really needed to take place now?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, and it happens with everyone. I think Rossi has probably mentioned this too. He mentioned this. He mentions this in the change room all the time and in the boardroom to the boys. Everyone goes through it. You know, at some point you accomplish a couple of accolades and you get sponsors, and then your uncle and your family are really blowing smoke, and they're really pumping you up. You know, and eventually you start becoming a little bit arrogant and bit bigger than the game. You think, I don't have to do this. No, but it's about me. So that, all of that stuff. No, I want to live in a single room and not in a double room. So all of that stuff, it has to do with ego, and it builds up. It frustrates people, and that stuff gets carried over to the field. But I guess each and every rugby player goes through that. I think I went through that, and someone needed to humble me. So yeah, that's the stuff that we needed to get through, and just to realize that actually it's not about us. This culture is actually about South Africa. This culture is actually about the Springbok Sevens badge. Like, do we really care about it? So it's got nothing to do with you. So that's been our whole talk. It's not about anyone else. It's literally about this badge and what the badge means to the country. So yeah, it was great. It was a great experience to be where we are right now from a culture point of view, to see how the guys cry and are vulnerable to each other and open up to each other, and they're fighting and they play with this attitude that they're really hungry, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of this stuff we don't see away. It's away from the field. It's in your private sort of spaces and such, and it's very easy for the public outside there just to look at the results and the disappointment of some of the tournaments last season, and the World Cup in particular, and the fact that you guys haven't qualified for the Olympics as well at this moment. That's just from a personal level, that must have been extremely frustrating to have all that and that expectation on your back the whole time, because everybody expects you to be there in the top 3-4 sides in the world all the time.
Yeah, no, and again, I think that expectation was created by our reputation and our hard work in the previous years. So, and we're not shying away from it. Again, like, we want that type of pressure. Otherwise, don't wear the Springbok jersey, you know. But it was just difficult not getting the results, coming short. And we looked at most of our big games against the top 4 teams, against Argentina, New Zealand, Australia. Halftime, we were 2 points up. It was 7-all or 5-all, and we ended up losing the game pretty close. So I believe that, and this is what we always preach to the boys, that when 2 teams are equally good and equally conditioned or talented, it's the team with the best culture that is going to come out on top, because you're just willing to fight for each other a little bit more extra. Or he made an error, I'll cover for him. I make an error, then you cover for me. And that's why it looks like it's a smooth working machine where, yes, there were a lot of mistakes, but because we care about each other so much, we cover each other's mistakes, and it looks like a solid defense system. And that's what we missed, because you guys don't get along on the field, or you bring your issues off the field and they come into the field. I'm not chasing after the guy. I'm with my fool. You know, little things like that. And I'm not just saying that's the only thing, but we needed to solve a lot of laundry outside of the field and come back to our roots and our culture for us to actually get results or play to our level and standards.
Over the last year, how happy are you that over the last year, the things that you've tried to bed down in this squad, how confident are you that it will take root properly in this campaign?
I'm pretty confident, just purely based on our prep. And I know we came short in the Olympic qualifiers, but the results are not a true reflection of that game and how we prepped. And we had Australia come through, you know, a couple of months ago, in South Africa and Stellenbosch, and they were here for 2 weeks, and we gave them 5-6. We won 6 out of the 5 out of the 6 games, and they brought their full squad, you know. So we're definitely on the right path, and just the things that we spoke about. There's such a mature group now. I mentioned 1 or 2 things, and they just listening to them and how they talk to each other. that tells you a lot. That tells you that we're on the right path, and that means that we've inflicted our discipline process, myself and Philly, and they know where's the line right now and what it takes to be in this team and play for the Springbok Sevens.
I was going to ask is there clarification yet about your Olympic qualification? I mean, there is one more tournament, the repechage tournament. Are you guys allowed to go? Are you waiting to hear? What's the latest in that?
As far as I'm concerned, I believe there's one more, and I didn't hear anything about us not being able to go and qualify. So yeah, that's something that Marius Skuman will clarify with us. But we literally changed our focus. We need to win the circuit. End of story. We focus on Dubai. We're gonna come Cape Town and come blazing there, and we take it from then on. We believe that if we have a good season and we put the right things in place for each and every tournament, come qualifiers, we're about to qualify, and it'll take care of itself, just purely because of the process of each and every tournament that we went through and we try to perfect. If we look too far, we're going to trip over Dubai. If we're looking at Olympics, we're going to trip over Cape Town. We're looking at Perth or Hong Kong, we're going to trip over Perth or Cape Town. So we have to focus on what's in front of us right now. But just from a clarity point of view, I do believe that we can go to another tournament. Whether we can't or any objections, I've never heard of any objections. So yeah.
You obviously have a more than a half decent record in Dubai. You met success there last year. How difficult is it after a tournament to sort of shut it all off and move on to the next, as the circus moves on to the next town?
I think for the new boys, it's pretty much difficult there. But I think being a player, I've played there and being coached by someone that played there, and I'm coaching these boys, and these boys that I played, some of them played in my era as well. So we've got a back to zero process that we implement. It's literally, we say after you win, you're on the rock, you enjoy it as much as you can. The next day, back to zero. And our next session that we do is harder than the game, just because you need to come back and do the things that made you successful in preparation for what you're going to do on the field. As jy daai goed te vergeet, then you're in big trouble. So you need to come back to zero and start all over again. And that is a skill of sevens. You need to come back and do it again. Beat this team, refocus again, enjoy it, high fives. When you get off that field, we don't talk about it again. It's recovery, and we look at the next footage of the next team. We win day one, we don't look at day one again. It's recovery and focus on the next team. So we have a back to zero process that we implement, and it's a little bit tough when you're new. It was tough for guys like Ricky. It will be tough for probably Q and Katlego, but we make sure that they understand what this means and try as hard as possible to psychologically turn the page around and focus on the next task at hand.
My last question to you is, streamlined circuit now. You've lost a couple of tournaments. The travel's probably a little bit better. There's now a season finale now, big showpiece season finale. 2-day tournaments instead of 3 in a lot of the cases, especially Cape Town. Better, worse, obviously less room for error in that situation as well. But how does it change your thinking as well in your preparation?
Yeah, look, I think from a player welfare point of view and longevity and strategy point of view, it's definitely appealing and I think quite accommodating, because your older players will last a little bit longer, because they've got more rest. It's not a back-to-back, where if you play a back-to-back and you've got a guy that's got a niggle, you're losing that guy. So you're kind of forced or strong-armed to go with another strategy or another player, which changes things a little bit. But now it's one tournament at a time, and you've got kind of 3 weeks at home. You're traveling once a month. That should give the boys and change your intentions in terms of let's give it our all. We've got 3 more weeks to rest at home. We've got nothing to lose. You don't have to hold back for another tournament, So yeah, it definitely changes things for us and how we approach it. And I guess your next question would be, how would you approach it? is we like to approach each and every tournament like it's a one-day a once-off tournament. So don't look at Cape Town, Dubai. Just look at Dubai and execute Dubai. Execute day one, game one. Yeah.
Yeah, you final question?
That's good. Sandile, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Spencer. I really appreciate it. Hopefully see you guys soon.
Yeah, and good luck,
we wish you well for the rest of the campaign.
and especially
Thanks, Leo.
especially the recovery. I think that's I think we're wishing you more for those physio sessions that are going to be rather tough. So good luck for that. It's not an easy injury to overcome. So good luck.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Thanks a lot, Brendan. I'll see you in Cape Town.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Well.
Cheers. Bye.